I've seen people who attack me with the slogan, the youths, they literally abused me. One day, one journalist, Ibrahim Ajara is my witness. I was sitting at Swiss Tavern where I chill. He came, they saw Jara come, going to Sabally, want to see him. They all came. Oh, Sabally, I'm sorry, we said this and this, but you are a good guy. Jara told me the youths have surrendered. Even those who used to say the youths are not happy, they have surrendered. The youths are happy.
If they were all happy, they wouldn't descend on the streets protesting and,
Peter,
being rowdy
Peter,
as they were.
Peter,
yeah?
If I say...
Or are you going back to the manipulative, argument of ML in Kenya?
So you're saying ML is manipulative and he's using a manipulative element?
No,
That's what you just said.
I mean his terminology. I mean his use of politicians, every politicians, and that includes Sabally.
Peter, I saw a professor sort of yesterday who lives and works in America trying to argue with me about the youths are happy. He doesn't have the moral and the legal.
What did he say?
He doesn't have the standing because he doesn't even know what the youths are dealing with here. Peter, I am the youths and the youths army. They are happy.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Somebody's sending, audios here, which, we wouldn't be, playing straight away. Let's see what this one says. Good morning, Uncle Peter. Kindly remind Sabally that this parliament has passed so many resolutions that this government never respected. Can he guarantee that any resolution coming from this parliamentary committee will be endorsed by the plenary that is so politely and actioned by the executive?
Okay, Peter, I would be glad if you take a pause because you cannot just be responding to these questions. And there are certain legitimate questions that are coming up that need to be thoroughly dealt with.
Okay, I'll put
and I am not even sure if I am the competent authority to deal with these issues. But if we are having parliamentary inquiries and they are claiming they are not being implemented, then maybe we need to interrogate the National Assembly, or the National Assembly itself needs to do some soul searching to see, because we are spending resources for this. Those resources should not go in vain. National Assembly members, if you are listening, you've given us hope in this matter. And like I said, I commend Honorable Bure Tunkara and the majority caucus of NPP. Just like Peter, I commended UDP for coming on board after. But for God's sake, me, Momodu Sabally, when it comes to the truth, I don't have any friends. I don't have a political party. Legitimate concerns are being reached as you approach this very critical extraordinary session. People are asking about the efficacy of these inquiries and the need for concrete action to be taken once the inquiries have been concluded. I just wanted to amplify that concern. I'm not here to defend anybody. This is a legitimate concern. Let's look at it. See how we go beyond rhetoric to praxis.
Brother Peter, let us not joke with the peace of our country. Many of the demonstrators came out with political, which should be avoided. And this is from Aliu Badara. I guess came out with political
Peter,
intentions.
In the history of Islam, Aliu is a very strong name. Aliu Badara, the disciple of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
So anybody called Aliu Badara?
Warrior. That Badara is named after a battlefield. So if Aliu the warrior is asking for peace, Peter, I'm appealing to all of the young people to listen to Aliu Badara Borom Jasibi. When you take Jasi. Peter, I wanna have a minute on this before you move. During the transition 2017-18, I attended several forums where Khalifa Saleh is, and there's this statement that he said that I never forgot, that the young people of this country must never, ever take the peace and stability of this country for granted. And yes, we knew there are some youths who came out with no political motivation, to be fair to them. They just wanted the list out, but we saw others who came, including politicians, who were trying to incite these youths. That is not right. If this country goes on fire, nobody knows whose house will go first. When the house is being burnt, the bed box will not be spared. I just want to add to Khalifa Saleh's quotation, which I picked from Hasum Sise, NCAC. I hope he doesn't mind being quoted. It's a good thing anyway. We were speaking about the need for compassion in this country and how some people try to disregard the concept of maslaha when maslaha actually must have saved this country as a republic. Then he quoted Sadauda Kairaba Jawara, who he said visited Armitage in 1992. And he said, Jawara said this, and he's a man of letters. He said, the fragility of the Gambia is unique. The fragility of this country is unique. So we need to be careful.
Unpack that for us. Fragility of the Gambia is unique.
Yeah. But if you look at the Gambia,
We're fragile.
nation, no, hold on.
Yeah.
A country
whose
viability as a nation state was questioned by the world at the get-go, as exemplified by Barclay Rice's Enter Gambia, Birth of an Improbable Nation. We are surrounded by a country that has not always been extraordinarily friendly. We've had a coup d'etat in 1981. Destruction of property, destruction of life, wanton destruction of property and lives. That coup d'etat, according to some of these Moja people, I think there was a Korosala or something Sala in Sweden who did a very fantastic expose to unearth the build up to the 1981 coup and how that actually led to the 1994 coup. Because Yahya Jammeh was a Moja agent and a Moja sympathizer. So we came to that. That coup happened.
If you like what you are seeing, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
After that coup, what happened, we all saw. Everybody was thinking of how to get Jammeh out of power here. I think the only people who actually believed that we could do it in peace through the ballot box was PDOIS. When it happened, we went through an impasse. The whole world was focused on Gambia for once, from Sweden to Kenya to Washington, D.C. Peter, if CNN could alternate between Donald Trump swearing in and Adama Barrow swearing in, then you know there's something extraordinary happening in this country.
They were doing that?
Yes. At the same time, Barrow came to power at the same time as Trump did. That showed how Gambia was a case for the whole world.
Yeah, but they were sworn on different days, so they couldn't be switching from one to another.
Peter, there was a process building.
Adama Barrow 19th January, Trump 20th of January.
Peter, the swearing in itself of Barrow.
And Barrow was being sworn in Senegal. Anyway.
What I'm saying is the whole world was focused on that process whilst the Trump swearing in was also on. The American swearing in doesn't happen 1 hour and get finished in 1 hour. What I'm trying to tell you, Peter, is...
I'm saying ours would have, Adama Barrow was finished a good 24 hours before.
What I'm saying is, after even 1 year, the whole world was focused on Gambia. It was a monumental timeline in the history of the world, not just Gambia. Bombs could have descended on this country. Gambians actually fled. God saved us.
Yeah, but
so we've had a history of fragility.
Those bombs would have descended before the swearing in, not during the swearing in.
The swearing in fact, doesn't matter now. What happens is we went through a difficult transition that built up from 1981. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Peter. Just to buttress and unpack for you, like you requested, what Sadauda Kairaba Jawara said, that this country is fragile. We need to be careful. We cannot take the peace and stability of this country for granted.
Let's take Usman Drame, his thoughts from Brekama on board. If we read volume 3 of the Janneh Commission's report, you will note that most of the properties acquired by the Kanilai Family Farm, KFF Limited, where Jammeh owes 99% of the shares, was acquired legitimately and mostly from private individuals. The Commission, however, found that he abused his office and mismanaged public funds and recommended that those assets be forfeited to the state. Yes, Jammeh owes properties legitimately, now forfeited, says Usman Drame from Brekama.
It's quite interesting. What I find interesting about his comment, like I said, I'm not here to defend Jammeh. I'm not here to defend anybody. My position is for the truth to be established, and I still stand by that. And when I was calling for this, Peter, 5 years ago, some of the people protesting, they were insulting me for questioning Batambedu's integrity and the integrity of the Janneh Commission members and the lead council. I mean, deja vu. So what I want to pick from this guy, this is somebody who actually read the Janneh Commission report. How many people have read it? This parliamentary inquiry that we are pushing for, how many people will read it? Let us read and analyze and argue with facts and put our emotions apart.
Good morning, Uncle Peter and Sabs. Youths, in other words, youths are happy.
Very happy.
Honestly, I commend Sabally.
Youths are happy. Be fair, just read it. When the others say they are not happy, you read it. Why are you pausing? Why?
No, I said in brackets, youths are happy.
No, you paused. Youths, then you paused.
Okay.
Be fair, Peter. You should be a referee in this.
Okay. Honestly, yes. Honestly, I commend Sabally for his political maturity. say what not, he's a good politician. Question. Can Sabally tell Gambians, should Barrow call and ask for advice on the current sale of assets? What would he honestly advise him? If Barrow were to call you today.
Well, there's a problem with the question. Current sale of assets. There are no assets being sold right now. Maybe you want to reinterpret that question.
Well, I'm just reading it as it is. You can satisfy yourself.
No, I've heard you, but there's a problem because he's assuming that assets are being sold. I don't think I have any advice for President Barrow.
I mean, he probably means the current issue of the sale of assets.
I have nothing to advise the President.
Nothing?
The government of the Republic of the Gambia is taking the right steps. I'm just watching, and I want that process to go on, uninterrupted, free and fair, list being received, list being released, parliamentary inquiry commencing. The only thing I'll add to that, Peter, is the interrogation of some of the texts coming in. What will happen after the inquiry? And that falls within the hands of the assembly members. Let them make sure that it doesn't just become a dance to the gallery. Let's take some steps to correct the errata. 1, 2, make sure there is not a recurrence of this really serious error.
With all due respect, I find it puzzling that you mentioned that you are not a legal advisor to the president. If one holds the position of an advisor, yet does not advise the president, especially on matters of national concern, then it raises a serious question. What is the real purpose of that role? The people expect that anyone in such a position contributes meaningfully to national decisions and the direction of leadership. If your role does not influence or inform the president's actions, then where exactly does its value lie, especially in the eyes of the public? I ask this with genuine concern and a deep interest in understanding how such roles serve the people and the nation.
Peter, tell him I actually appreciate his concern. I think he did not listen to me properly. If I said I'm not a legal advisor to the president, I think it's a bit ambiguous. I'm not saying that legally I cannot advise the president. I am saying that I am not competent to advise the president on legal matters. Peter Baxo calls me the boy of smartness. Anything that I don't have knowledge on, I don't interfere. I cannot advise the president on legal matters, and I will not. But the other matters that I am competent to advise, I've been doing, I will continue to do. That's the answer.